Before we get into today's video, let's talk about MTG Vault. No, I'm not sponsored by MTG Vault, but I really love this website. It's a deck brewer's paradise. If you need help building decks, you can find it here. As you can see, I post all my Friday Night Brawls, all my Gem or Janks, right here on MTG Vault. Also, I post my very own exclusive series to this site. It's called Let's Break. I have one out right now. It's where we explore Breaking Finn, how to beat your opponent faster. But with that being said, let's get into today's video. So what's going on, guys? Today we have a deck for my upcoming Gem or Jank. It's called Kaijus. In this deck, we're going to be playing the biggest, baddest Kaiju-ish creatures we can find here on MTG Arena. So with that out of the way, let's get right into the core cards. Alright, so this deck is built around Proud Wildbonder and Gurok's Uprising. Proud Wildbonder makes it so your creatures with trample assign their damage as if they weren't blocked. And Gurok's Uprising lets us draw cards, and it also gives all of our stuff trample. So you've probably already seen Godzilla and Ulamog on my channel before, but we'll go over what they do real quick. Godzilla has trample, and lethal damage is determined by your power rather than your toughness. Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, he banishes two things when he comes into play, and when he attacks, the defending player exiles the top 20 from their deck. Now for Kogla, I think that's how you pronounce that, the Titanate. Whenever he comes into play, he fights another creature. Whenever he attacks, you can destroy target artifact, enchantment, which is really nice because shrines and historic are getting really bad. They're even starting to make their way into standard. And for 1 in the green, return a human you control to your hand, and he gains indestructible. So next up, we got Galta Primal Hunger. Cost X less, where X is the total power of creatures you control, which will be really high because we're playing kind of Gruul Stompy. And then we have Terror of the Peaks. Terror of the Peaks is kind of like a tectonic giant, because when he's targeted by a spell your opponent controls, he deals 3 to them. And whenever a creature you control enters your battlefield, it deals its power to your opponent. Then we have Raging Regisaur. Raging Regisaur, you could probably cut this card, honestly, but I keep it in there for some early pressure, because you can shoot down some mana dorks and whatnot. But overall, you could cut him for something else. I don't know, I got a soft spot for him. Starting off with utility, we got Colossal Majesty. Colossal Majesty lets us draw a card if we own a creature with power 4 or greater. Regrowth lets us take any card from our graveyard and put it back into our hand. And Broken Wings. Destroy target artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying. Now let me talk about Broken Wings for a second here. I believe I run 4 in the deck because I can... Rogues and other stompy decks and whatnot, we'll probably have a good matchup against them. The only decks I'm really worried about is Shrines. Next up, we got In Search of Greatness. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may play a permanent from your hand into play if it has a mana cost of 1 greater than what you already have in play, or it allows us to scry 1. I really don't know why this card gets hate, because it's amazing. The other card we play is Demon Bolt. 4 damage to any creature or planeswalker, and we can foretell it to pay only 1. So for the mana base, it's pretty short and sweet and simple. We got some pathways, red and green. Rugged Hills and Temple of Abandon, because, well, I don't really have too much in historic right now, but that'll be fixed shortly. So, final thoughts on this deck. I think it does have a lot more tuning that could be done. There's a lot more you could do with this deck. But overall, I think this deck will go. It'll go okay. I really don't think it's a janky deck, but you never know. I could be wrong. But anyways, with that being said, this is D Ninja signing out. Bye bye now.